Well, it's been a little while, but I think it's time we do a few day after reviews of a few games that we've had. Yeah, sorry, it's been a little bit break over Christmas, but we're gonna get straight back into it. So let's review some games, shall we? So let's take our minds back to Wednesday, the 17th of December, where it was Manchester City 2, Brentford nil. Hey, we're in the semi-final of the Carabao Cup. How great is that? Where we played Newcastle, which I'm looking forward to. You know, we've got some scores to settle after we've got beat St James's Park the other month. So that should be a good game, but let's have a quick review of the game. We won't go into player rinse too deeply for West Ham and Brentford just because, it's been a while. The old man's a bit foggy. But it was a good game, this one, though. I remember, I was there. Brilliant goal by Cherky. Absolutely sublime finish. Like, I'm not forgetting that one anytime soon. That was great. And then Savini got a bit of fortune on his goal, but I remember him being pretty good, to be fair. So fair play, it was good to see. But yeah, beating Brentford to get to the semi-final of the Carabao Cup is what we like to see. It's been a while since been in the that deep in the Carabao. Honestly, I'm really, really hoping we can win it this year. I think we can as well. I think we can get past Newcastle over two legs, and then regardless if we get Arsenal or Chelsea, I think we should be able to beat either. If I'm honest, I think in a one-off final, I really do fancy our chances. I remember the in this game as well, Kusanov. What was it? There was a red card incident, wasn't there? I don't think it was a red card. I don't think it was a red card. I remember a lot of people were quite upset about it, particularly Keith Andrews. But no, I thought Kusanov had a good game. It's good to see him playing well. It's good. That's why I like the Carabao Cup. It's good to see players like Trafford getting a bit of a run out. Same with Mukasa as well. It's nice to see Mukasa. Hopefully, he will get a goal at some point in one of these games. He might play against. I probably would fancy him to start against Newcastle in one of the legs. Maybe the one away, the first one. Maybe we'll go for the kill in the second leg. Depends what Pep's mind is. How seriously he takes it. So I would be interested to see. And again, shame about Bob as well. It is really upset about Bob. 19 minutes and he got subbed off. I thought he was looking. He was looking. I remember that he did change. I remember that first 20 minutes actually in this game. It was looking a bit shaky with Bob. I remember he lost the ball a couple of times. Then Phil came on and we just absolutely destroyed them. But I mean, what do you expect? It's Phil. But it's a shame what's happened to Oscar Bob because it does look like he's kind of on his way out now. Which he probably should have had a breakout season last year, but then he obviously broke his leg unfortunately in training that year. So it's a shame what's happened to Oscar Bob. I remember he was such a promising talent, but it does look like he's on his way to Crystal Palace or something like that, potentially in January, potentially in the summer. But I think this could be his last season at the club, which is a real shame. But these things happen. Not everyone from the academy makes it through. And he did. I mean, and to be fair, he did make it through. He'll always be remembered for that goal against Newcastle, the 3-2 to win us four in a row, like back in that January 2024. 2 years. That goal was 2 years ago, nearly. I've just deeped that. That was January 24. That is unreal. That Oscar Bob goal at Newcastle was 2 years old. Jesus Christ, that's mental. Yeah, fair play. Always be remembered for that. But yeah, it's a shame. But overall, this was a good game. Good atmosphere as well. I thought it was a decent atmosphere at the Carabao Cup. I had a few Christmas songs going. But 2-0, clean sheet, Bosh, into the semi-final. Man City 3, West Ham United 0. Now this was another good game. Haaland was on form, was he not? He was absolutely superb. Both of his goals were brilliant, and then the layoff for Tiani Rander's goal as well was just as good. I thought this was a phenomenal game. Obviously, it was West Ham who have been absolutely, I'm not going to put it lightly, they have been shocking recently in the last few months. Most of the season, really. I mean, they're 18th. So, I personally, I do love West Ham. I've always liked West Ham. There's always been a good sort of relationship between the clubs, but I do kind of see them going down, and I think most West Ham fans would agree with me, unfortunately. But I think it is. It'll be. I don't think they'll. I don't think it'll be too detrimental. I think it'll give them a kick up the arse they need, and I think they can get back up. But I really do struggle to see a world where they don't go down this season, unfortunately. But it was a good game. Donnarumma played great, didn't he? Yeah, 3 shots on target, saved all three. But yeah, this was a phenomenal performance. Greens all around. I think even O'Reilly was good this game, to be honest. Lost 12 duels. Jesus, I don't remember that. Don't remember that. God Almighty. But yeah, overall team was good. Another back-to-back clean sheets in the Brentford game. That was a good thing to see. Stats as well in this game as usual. We dominated. Truly, truly, really good performance. And yeah, just yeah, good to see Macassar in the Premier League game as well. We were able to get a few people on, rest a few legs. That was good to see. And yeah, took us into Christmas nicely this game. Big 3 points there. Nothing much else to really say. It was just a standard game against a lower team in the relegation zone. Don't really need to read too much into it. And then this one as well. This was another one, a game against a team who were also just above West Ham. Aren't they? They're just above, yeah. Literally, they're the 17th. Made it a little bit harder than it had to be. Struggled to put the ball in the net in some scenarios. Wasn't really the best, most clinical that we've been. But Rayan Cherki, what a player he is. Joint most assists with Bruno Fernandes at the minute in the league. And, oh, I love this boy. This guy is unreal. I think if you look at that lineup there, that lineup is probably going to be, that is our strongest lineup. I think if you swap Foden with Bernardo, and then obviously in the left wing have Doku, that's our strongest 11. But even that's pretty damn good, Phil and Bernardo. I still think it's pretty damn good. Igor, I'm sorry, but can we just point out Igor, most foul player in the match 4 times? Yeah, because he kept doing that bloody thing where he kept backing into it, and because it's such a short striker, he kept giving it. The referee in this game was horrific. And then Sean Dyche had the balls to come out and say the ref was bad. My word. The ref was. It was the ref. It was the ref. It was the ref. We need to find him. Not only has it on here, doesn't it? Who was it? Who was it? I forgot who it was. Where's the bleeding ref? Where is he? Where is he? Where is he? The vid's name because he was that bad. Where's the ref? Anyway, I completely forgot who the ref was. Man's completely slipped, but I know he was. Rob Jones. Rob in the name. There you go. Absolute robbery, wasn't he? But now, nonetheless, good performance. I thought all round. I think it was just a standard grind out result. The West Ham one was just battered a team in the relegation zone. This one was more just a scrappy game because I think Forest are a good side. That's why I think if you compare Forest to West Ham are 18th, Forest 17th. Forest are leaps and bounds above that West Ham side. So that's why I can easily see if Forest are the next worst team after West Ham, and then I think it's bad for. I think the teams that are in the relegation zone are going to go down because Leeds were unreal. Look, Leeds were unbeaten in 5. They're not going down in my opinion. Bournemouth, they need to pick up the pace a bit if they want to get out. But even then, they're a good distance. They're 9 points from West Ham. Newcastle won't go down and they're above. The only real relegation scraps is this bottom 6, in my opinion. And even then, I think Bournemouth are too established now to really go down. So I think it's just on a realistic term, it's these 5. And I don't know what it's gone from me reviewing the last few City games. So suddenly we're doing a full discussion on the Premier League. But yeah. Wolves are dead. It's just simple. Rest in peace. Burnley, all but dead. I know they're only a point behind West Ham, but still, they're shocking. They're shocking. Who is it? Scott Parker's the manager, right? Yeah, Scott Parker's the manager. Yeah. There's your first problem. And yeah, West Ham are just looking. It's just dire straits there. But yeah, I can see Forest surviving. I think Forest are good enough to pick up some wins there as our leads. So yeah, we did a good game to get 2-1 result against them because yeah, they was one of them where we should have been a bit more clinical, had some better chances, but game's game. What can you really do? It's tricky sometimes. Hopefully we can get Doku back. How long's Doku out for? I'm actually curious. How long is he estimated? Early Jan. Okay. So we'll go mid-Jan then, because I haven't really heard too much, and I think it probably will be a mid-January sort of thing. Don't rush him back too soon. Oh, is Cover back soon? Early January. I thought he was still out for quite a bit, Kovacic. I thought he was like February. That's what I read anyway. I'll be good to have Kovacic back or a bit of squad depth. And what about this? Roger on the bench. He's in the matchday squad. He's nearly back. Again, though, don't rush him. I wouldn't play him against Sunderland because that's going to be a physical battle. No team has won at Sunderland. That is not the team. Oh, then we've got Chelsea, haven't we? Honestly, I'd bring Rodri back at Brighton. I'd put him on the bench again against Sunderland. I'd bring him on for the last 10 minutes at home to Chelsea, so we get a home round of applause right near the end. Hopefully we're like a couple of goals up maybe. I know it's Chelsea, so it's not likely. But even then, even if it's like 2-1 or something, just bring him on for the last 10 just to see it out. Be a physical presence, tall presence in the box and stuff like that. and then Brighton, start him against Brighton, and there you go. That should be good. And then rest against Exeter, so he's not playing back-to-back games. And then after 90 minutes against Brighton, maybe play him against Newcastle again, or even then just play one half against Newcastle, and then Bosch, full 90 at Old Trafford. And we've got Rodri Gonzalez double pivot at Old Trafford for the first time. First time we'll see a proper Nico Rodri double pivot, and that should absolutely obliterate them. Fingers crossed. That's my Rodri predictions for the next 6 games. Anyway, that's Rodri watch. But he's back in the squad, so happy days. And yeah, I think that wraps up the coverage of the last 3 games by the looks of it. We are 2 points off the top with Villa breathing down our necks, but nonetheless, look at that. Us and Villa going band for band there. But yeah, we just need to hope that Villa Arsenal, I think, what do we want from Villa Arsenal? Really a draw. I'm just thinking, I mean, a win would be great, just to really just stop Arsenal in their tracks. But, a draw isn't the worst, because it keeps Villa back from us. Yeah, a draw is good, because if they draw, then we win our game, we'll go a point ahead of Arsenal, and we'll be 3 points clear of Villa with a better goal difference if we draw, because they'll be on 40, we'll be on 43, and we've got a plus 16 on them. So that gives us a good boundary from them. So, honestly, a draw is probably the best one. And it's a realistic result. Because Villa are missing a few people when they go to Arsenal, aren't they? I know it doesn't show the suspended players for some reason, but I'm pretty sure. Who was it? Yeah, Matty Cash got suspended against Chelsea. And who else? Kamara, that was it. Cash and Kamara both are suspended. Neither of them can play because of yellow card. Too many yellows. They both got a yellow card against Chelsea. So it's not the most ideal squad. They're missing 2 main starters, but I still think I could see a draw. I mean, they're beaten with a full squad, so realistically they should be able to get a draw. And also Arsenal are unbeaten at the Emirates as well, so I'll hold my breath on Villa getting an actual win there. If they do win there though, Villa. I mean, I already see Villa as a real title contender. I genuinely do. I think they are. I don't see any sign. I think by beating Arsenal, by beating Chelsea, they've proven themselves they're in this title fight. But if they beat Arsenal, then they go level on points with the league leaders until we play. So yeah, Villa are well and truly in this, so we need to hope for a draw there. Let them both drop points. And yeah, we'll see what happens. See what happens going into the new year. But that wraps up 2025. That decent first half of the season. We're about at the halfway point, and the table's definitely shaping itself. So yeah, looking forward to what the rest of the season has to come. Second half of the season coming. Still got a couple of Champions League still going strong. Still got a couple more league stage games to get through. That's all growing strong. Semi-final of the Carabao. We haven't even started the FA Cup. On to that next year. Go on, City.